Hello, everyone. Welcome to Innovate and Conversate, where we discuss the latest trends and innovations in the business world. I'm your host, Jenna, and today we have Mr. Bhupesh, Senior Project Manager at Inflexion. We will be discussing what are the essential key points for a project success. Welcome, Mr. Bhupesh.
Thank you, Jenna. I'm excited to be here to share my knowledge and insights on project success.
Perfect. So let's dive right in. To kick things off, what would you say are the essential key points for ensuring a project success?
So there are several key factors which will influence project success, out of which I would like to discuss four. One is the project planning. We have to ensure that a detailed project plan is prepared well in advance. And then knowledge. We have to ensure that the stakeholders who are selected for the project are knowledgeable and support the project. Then management. During the project, we have to have the buy-in from the management and have support from both the top managements. And vision. The project vision should always be in line with the customer vision for a successful project.
Amazing. And could you more expand on the components of an effective project planning and why is it so important?
So project planning is the foundation for the project success because it builds a roadmap for what will follow from here onwards. So having a detailed project plan and a clear vision is something which is critical for project success. I would say that we have to take the whole project, break it up into smaller phases or pieces which can be managed, and each phase obviously will have the milestones, activities, and further drill down is tasks, and the deliverables are assigned to these tasks. Once we do this activity, we have to make sure that the project teams involved are also notified on their aspects of the task so that they can plan their activities and be more productive. That's how we plan the project. And it is also equally important to have a proper project management tool for planning, which will help us monitor the project plan and drive the project progress throughout the project.
Amazing. And the post planning, what do you believe is the most important aspect for a successful project?
So if you take a software project or a business management project led implementation or a project, it is critical that we identify the right stakeholders with the knowledge, as I mentioned. So when I say stakeholders, this can be from the implementation team or from the customer side. I would like to stress on the customer side where we have two such roles at the customer end who plays very critical role in project success. One is the business process owner and the next role is business process champions. So basically business process owners are the key stakeholders or project members who will take the decisions on behalf of the customer on their respective module or vertical assigned to them. And we always recommend customers to have one business process owner for a particular department or module so that we have accountability and ensure that the project progress is monitored. Then we have business process champions. Basically, these are the day-to-day users who will be interacting with the implementation team to make sure that the project progress is in place. They give the requirements, they do the training, testing, and they help out the project implementation team and will be with the project implementation team throughout the life cycle of the project. So what we usually recommend customers is to have minimum of 2 stakeholders who are business process champions. This is to have the redundancy. From a customer point of view, it is very critical to ensure that we have the right knowledgeable stakeholders assigned to these 2 roles. If we have a stakeholder who is not fit for the role, obviously it will pose a great risk to the project.
And when it comes to risk management, my favorite part, what do you recommend as a strategy to identify the risks in a project?
So risk management is all about, identifying the potential risks of the project well in advance and have a plan for it uh, do the analysis, have a mitigation or mitigation plan readily available for it. So what we do in software projects is we prepare something called as risk register, where based on our previous experience and exposure to the similar kind of projects, we document all the known risks what we have faced in our past experience into the risk register, and keep this risk register available for all the stakeholders. So this risk register basically contains what is the type of the risk, how you can mitigate it effectively. If you are unable to mitigate it, what is the next kind of escalation which has to be done. So having this readily available when we start the project will boost the project success, because all the stakeholders who are involved have access to this risk register. And during the course of the project, in case if there is similar or definitely the same kind of risk or a similar risk which comes up in the project, they have a plan which is readily available to mitigate this risk. Also, communication plays a key role here. We need to make sure that we have clear communication with all the stakeholders.
And when it comes to change management, how can project managers handle such change without like derailing the project?
That's a valid question, Chana. So change management in any project has two aspects to it. One is the organizational change management, which comes along with the initiation of the project. Then we have the normal change management, where we take care of the project deviations or changes. To give you a more perspective of organization change management, whenever we start with a new project, obviously let it be an ERP implementation for a customer. The customer is running their business in a fashion where they are going through the process in a defined way. Now, because of the ERP implementation, there might be process deviations, or there might be roles which will get jumbled up. So most of the time, the stakeholders or the team involved in this, they always have on back of their mind, what will happen after this implementation? Is it going to impact me as a person? Is it going to impact my job? So to have a clear understanding and to give a perspective to all the stakeholders, organizational change management helps a lot. So basically, under organizational change management, what we do is that we run the value map and the value addition the product or the implementation will bring to the customer and to their stakeholders. We also showcase how the stakeholders can effectively do their work, and having this in place, this will give more insight to the customer stakeholders, and it will boost their morale as well. And also, then when we talk about the normal change management, in any project you are trying to implement, and you have a set of changes which are bound to happen. So we usually have a change management plan in place, where we will, identify the change, have a detailed analysis of the change, how it will impact the timelines, the deliverables, and all, and communicating this to all the stakeholders earlier or during the phases of the project will help the stakeholders streamline their activities and in turn give more productivity.
Finally, when it comes to project scope management, how does it play a role in the success of a project?
Project scope management plays a very critical role in project success. Having a defined scope will give a direction to both the teams. It may be the customer team or the implementation team. They know what is the direction and what is the planned outcome, so that they can work towards the planned or required outcome. Now, for effective project scope management, what we usually do is we document, or we have what is in scope and what is out of scope clearly indicated well in advance in the project. This way we can avoid scope creep. So as I mentioned in the change management, there is always a new feature or a new functionality which the customer might want to have, which is not part of the scope, which is not initially documented or not part of the initial scope. So what happens in this aspect is that they will try to bring that feature or functionality into the scope, and this is what we call or what we mention as scope creep. What will happen when there is a scope creep is that it will impact your not only your timeline but also your project budget. Managing effectively the scope in advance and have a document or a scope management in place where both the parties involved are notified and made aware of the scope will help us manage successful projects. In short, it is like if you have a clear scope management, you can execute a project on time within the dedicated budget and to the satisfaction of all the stakeholders.
Definitely. I think, Mr. Bhupesh, this brings us to the end of our podcast today. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been a fascinating discussion.
Thank you, Jana. It was my pleasure, and I hope our listeners have a valuable insight on project management.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for our listeners for tuning in. We'd love to hear back from you on what topics you would like for us to discuss next. Until next time, stay innovative and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.